Namaste, bitches. Navonod, I know them Holden talking about how to battle your way back from death. And this is in real time. I'm not just assuming that I'm not just recording narration after I already won. I'm just calling my shot Babe Ruth style. Okay, so I don't think there's any sense in betting because we can get stacks in 2 streets. And we want to keep his bluffing range intact. If we don't lose anything by keeping his bluffing range intact, and I don't think there was much to lose. Okay, now we are going to go broke if we're beat with our 2 pair. So we just have to think, how does the money go in best? And I think it goes in better if we put it in, because he'll call with some of the hands he would have checked back. Boy, I kind of screwed up that bet sizing. I should have went about 60. Then I'd have less than a pot-sized shove, but as it is, we're just going to have to overbet a little bit. I like the tank. I'm hoping for a tank call. That would be fantastic. And we'll just get kind of close back in this bitch. Yeah, dead serious. I know I'm going to win this game, and it's going to look like I recorded the narration after the fact. I assure you I did not. In fact, I can show it to you. If you're a Camtasia, well, if you understand Camtasia, I can show you how it's layered. Well, I can't do that while I'm, yeah, that's not going to work. There's ways to do it, but they're doctorable anyway, so whatever. Take my word for it or don't. You're watching a serious comeback. I had like a 9-to-1 chip disadvantage, and I'm going to win this. Jack 7, as long as he doesn't shove, I'll be pretty happy. Fold, happy. Limp, happy. Min raise, happy. Shove, not so happy. I think we're going to fold. Deeper this hand makes sense as an open. And probably any more shallow, you could probably just shove it. Okay, so he limps. Let's, yeah, I don't think there's any reason to get cute here. Let's just rip it. Get that limp and stuff out of his system. I don't want to show him, because I don't want him to limp. I want him to have to, because if he wants to limp, then the reason he probably wants to limp is because he doesn't know, like, he's in a spot where he's like, man, I don't want to raise, I don't want to fold, so I'll limp. I don't want him to start, how do I say this? I want him to feel like he's in a decision where he's either got to uncomfortably jam or fold his button, because he'll probably fold more of his buttons that way. And he just limped this button. So you gotta be a little suspicious of a trap. Like, last time he limped, I jammed, so obviously he knows it's something I'm capable of. So I am just very happy to just try to get my pair of 5s to showdown and hope that they're best. I don't know how often they will be, but it'll be non-zero. Like that time. I'm a double up away from just about being at chip parity. We just have to jam the ace-3. We're not real happy when we get called, but what else are we going to do with it? If he folds a second best hand, that's better than like limping and having him jam that second best hand, because like he's going to have, almost always, he'll have like a, like if it's a hand that he would, how do I want to say this? Like if I limped and he shoves, but if I shove he folds, those are going to be hands that have 2 live cards that are higher than my 3 most of the time. And so those hands have like, 40% equity, something like that, 38, it depends on exactly what the hand is, of course, but they'll have enough equity that I'm perfectly happy if they just fold. especially if I feel like I've got an edge elsewhere where I don't want to just like flip a coin for my stack. Because the money that I pick up in the blinds is almost enough to cover the equity. Then I think probably villain is going to be over folding when we jam. But if we start jamming every hand, that might stop being the case. And if we jam a hand like 10 high, get called and manage to suck out, then I don't think we'll have, well, we just won't have that much fold equity anymore. Like one of the ways I tell people to think about fold equity is think about fold equity as if you have a limited amount of it. And this goes for when you're constructing your ranges or your strategy, or in the metagame sense when you're playing against one specific opponent. So you want to save your, like, let's say you have like a little Tinkerbell type jar of fairy dust. You want to use your fold equity in spots where it's the most valuable. You don't want to waste it. And if you do jam and get called by a better hand and you happen to win at showdown, this is weird. Yeah, I think if I if I call and then have to chop fold the flop, it's gonna just be a real problem for me. I don't think I'll have fold equity behind my shoves anymore. And against a player that we suspect is overfolding versus shoves, that's probably a problem. You know, like I think that's where I'm getting one of my edges. Is he's probably not stacking off as late as he ought to. That doesn't, again, it doesn't mean I want to just waste all of my fold equity by trying to like infuse 5 deuce offsuit with enough fold equity to make it profitable. I want to use the fold equity to like tip the scales. In this part of the game where we're jamming like a linear range. It's a lot different if we have a polarized range, but we're not going to have a polarized range unless we start open limping. Then we could open limp our middle hands and we could use like a polarized strategy for jamming, but I don't like doing that. I think that's, I mean, it would make some sense and it could make sense against certain players, but I wouldn't advocate it most of the time. So we could turn this into a bluff and just bet and maybe find some cards to barrel. In fact, I think we will do that. Occasionally we'll get called by a draw and be actually ahead, and occasionally we'll find like a good barreling card. Let's see, I wish that wasn't a spade. I think I want to leave enough room for the triple barrel, because I think he's too likely to call again and then fold river to just go like 2 streets and shut down. So I wanted to make sure I had enough chips to make a shove on the river that would do the job, or Bink can get there and be able to value jam. Now we can start doing some things. Let's start limping. We're definitely going to bet that. 5, 6, 7, 8, we'll call that. Shat. It's alright, it's alright. We're still on it. Boy, oh boy, I'm going to be running out of fold equity. Not because of the other thing I said, just because my stack is too small. We just have to win this. It's not a good start. Yeah! Told you I was winning this thing. Yeah, let's take a flop. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 seems like a decent flop. I think we'll just, should we check jam? I think he's too nitty. I think we just want to lead. Yeah, just as well. It's a pretty good card to double barrel, but I think this guy's a little stickier than the average barrel. Although the last time I double barreled exactly that kind of card, it got the job done. Like where it was an overcard and put 3 to a flush. He did give me credit last time. Plus I might have equity, like if I just happened to bump into the ace, I've got the double gut shot, which I would have got there. We are at parity. Good lord, that probably should be a call, but I'm just so excited to be even. But I don't want to gamble. He's been pretty tight. I don't expect that to be a worse hand than queen 10. I mean, my equity against his range was probably about right to make the call, but I don't want to be about right. I want to have an edge. You could argue and say, well, yeah, but that means you just gave him an edge. And it's like, yeah, you know, but a lot of what poker is trying to trade small edges for bigger edges. And that's like true in the metagame sense. It's true in like the way you play hands. You know, like take set mines for instance. Good lord, a weird race size. And not, I mean, out of position. I don't think I can call that. 10-9 is a pretty decent hand heads up, but it's not as good at these stack depths, and it's definitely not as good at these stack depths when he makes that big of a bet. Yeah, I think we just rip it. Got a bad feeling. I think we'll have to stack this. Cool. Yeah, I don't see any reason to get cute. Alright, I'll get a little cute. We're going to take the free card. I like our chances of winning a showdown. Good. Jack high seemed like the nuts there. And the God, I just hate to put this money in against this clown. Good lord, man. This would be like the most exploitable fold ever. Like you can just never ever fold this hand. I'm just gonna call it. Can't fold. Plus I just sort of knew I was gonna get there, so you know. That's why they call me Run Like Navogod.